Ed, you're an absolute weapon. Right, hello and welcome to episode 3 of the First4LCFC Podcast. Once again, hosted by myself, Jamie Thorpe, and I'm joined by the two other First4LCFC admins, Christian Mosen and Edward Noon. Say hello, gents.
Good evening.
Hello, good. Right, so hopefully you've listened to us before, and if by now you should know the drill. But if you're new here, this is where we take a bit of a not too serious look at the Leicester City going-ons over the past couple of weeks, and then we'll look forward to the upcoming games. So I think the Bournemouth game is a good place to start. Obviously, we've missed a week because it's international football and the joys that come with that. But the Bournemouth game did at least send us into the break in a good mood. Leicester played really, really well, and the game has been held up by a lot of reporters as a bit of a statement of intent by Leicester and a bit of a warning to the top six. Chris, what did you make of the team performance as a whole?
I think it was pleasing. I think it was that performance. I think we touched upon it in our last podcast. It was a performance that I think we needed to settle the nerves going into the international break. Not that there was any, substantial nerves, but just like a performance. Like, look, yeah, we've turned up this season. Now we can take this sort of top six or, potentially top four charge seriously. So I think it was a good performance. It was attacking. It was clinical. It's something, again, we criticised previously was that maybe we weren't creating enough, but, scored 3 goals, 3 great goals for different reasons. And, I came away from that. I didn't have any negatives, really. I think, it would be nice to probably keep a clean sheet, but, 3-1, won by 2 goals, 3 points. I am happy as they come, really.
Yeah, I mean, that the goal that Bournemouth scored, it was a great goal, but it was their only chance of note. That aside, we kept the likes of Wilson, King, Fraser, Wilson, etc. The other Wilson kept them quiet all game, and that's got to be really pleasing from a Leicester point of view. It mainly, once again, we've spoken about him every week so far, but it's that man Soyuncu. And Ed, he's had another brilliant performance, hasn't he?
Yeah, he really is. He keeps impressing every week, and to be fair, he did do his best to keep the Bournemouth goal out, didn't he? Near enough end up. Well, he did. He ended up in the back of the net, trying to save it on the line. So, yeah, he does just keep impressing, and it'll be interesting to see what happens next week against at the weekend against Man U, where him and Harry Maguire are on the same pitch together, and we'll see. Not that they'll be coming up 1-on-1, but we'll see who gets the better.
I'm looking forward to battles at the corners, mate. I think we've got a little battle on our hands there, to be fair.
Will there be room for anyone else in the box with those 2 ginormous heads?
That's not the only ginormous thing, is it, in there, to be fair?
And we're 2 minutes in, and already it's got a mention. Fantastic. Although I have to say, if Soyuncu can beat Maguire in the air and score a goal, I think Leicester City Twitter would just explode. You wouldn't see anything like it. But going back to the game, aside from Soyuncu, a player that come in for a lot of praise again, yet somehow can't get a start for England, is James Maddison. A lot of people were talking about his more rounded game with his defensive work rate in particular. Chris, is that something that you think he's added this season?
I think it's something he had to add. Like, if you think about it, to progress as a player at this level, you can't just be a luxury player, especially not for Leicester. You're not going to sort of just expect to just get given the ball and go forwards. I think Rodgers would have been demanding that out of him and everyone else in the team. So yeah, it's really pleasing to see. And it's pleasing to see that he wants to put that work rate in, because if we're going to liken him to Mahrez, in sense of that Mahrez was a luxury player, and I think we even spoke about it like that. Does he need to work back? Well, in my opinion, yeah, every player needs to work back. We're not going to carry a player. So yeah, it's good to see, and I think his game going forward's improved as well. I think he's already up there with the chances created stats again, so I won't be surprised if he tops that table. And he's just improving as a player, and that's obviously a sign of concern for Leicester fans, because that automatically then means he's already been linked probably in January and summer, etc. But no, I think we found a good balance, and I think he's at the heart of that.
Yeah, I mean, he has been linked with a move away. You'll never guess where, but that was right to join Maguire up the up north. But hopefully that won't come about. But I think the player, I mean, his defensive work essentially led to Vardy's third goal. It was a good tackle, fell to Tieleman's, and then he did the rest, put it to Vardy, and he wasn't going to miss from there. But we were saying on the podcast last week, Ed, you were saying how you wanted to see Tieleman's given a bit more freedom, and he's come away from that game with an assist and a goal to his name. What do you think that was? Was it always going to happen, or is there something that's led to that?
I think.
Go on, Christian.
So I was just a quick answer, basically. Sorry, Ed.
It's all right. I said my name, but you take it.
I didn't actually hear him say your name. That's why I was so keen to go for it again. Must just love the sound of my own voice, obviously. But no, I think it's just, again, everything came at the right time. I mean, Tieleman's, he was in the right place. That goal will mean a lot to him. And I think hopefully that will sort of help him shrug off any doubts. Because obviously the longer his drought went on, I'm sure that would have started playing on his mind. But I think he'll be calm now. So over to you, Ed.
Well, thank you for giving me the floor. And yes, it is only just you who likes the sound of your voice. But yeah, I think, well, we've been saying, haven't we? We're fans of using wingers. And yes, that brings more attacking in the fact we've got these individuals down the flanks who will whip the ball in and make space. But that also means that Tieleman's have been freed up a little bit. The centre midfield isn't as congested. So in theory, it should give him more chances to create more space to thread balls in, and it has only been one game in this system, so I don't think we can say he's suddenly as great as he was last season immediately just because he got a goal. But it's certainly promising that he's getting more involved. However, of course, it wasn't all great stuff he got involved with. There was quite a contentious challenge that I think we're going to talk about now.
Well, I mean, you might as well, as you've started. I think you're, of course, referencing the Tieleman's challenge on Callum Wilson that went to VAR and was not decided it was not a red card. What did you think it was in that case, or?
I don't think it was a pleasant challenge. I don't for a second think that was the intention.
Hey up! Whoa, I'm gonna have to jump in here. I'm gonna quote you. I spoke to you about this as it happened, and you've changed your tune massively. You changed. You said that was never, ever, ever a red card, and there was I was the one who texted you about intent. So what's made you change your mind, Ed?
I think you've got the wrong end of the stick. I'm almost certain I said it was a red card.
I think you said it was never a red, like word for word.
Wow.
In Ed Noon style.
What we're going to do now, off air, I'm going to get my phone out and try.
I mean, you're not going to find it. We text each other a lot. I mean, don't make this boring. I'm pretty sure you said that.
we can't have you two falling out like last week. But I think that does give you, Chris, if you would like to take the opportunity to mention the results of our poll that we ran on Twitter. I know you were hoping to.
Which poll?
The one after your little argument with Ed about the cups.
Oh, right, yeah. Basically, obviously, last episode, for those who listen, we did have a debate which got relatively heated for about 12, 15 minutes on whether the fans would value a trophy or a cup run over finishing 7th or 6th in the league. Ed was adamant that maybe the majority would be on his side in that 7th is a great place to finish. And
I never said that.
Paraphrasing here.
I said that I would personally rather qualify for Europe, but evidently the stats say that the 200 Leicester fans that voted.
I think there was about 1,200, but that's fine. You can miss 1,000 off. The sample size was great enough, and the fact is, yes, I think fans would want to see a cup run, a day out at Wembley, and silverware that they can look back and remember. Because, I still remember, what was it, the League Cup, whatever it's called, Worthington Cup back in 2000. We were the last people to win it at the old Wembley, so. And I was only 8 years old. Jamie, you was about 28 then, weren't you? I think.
Thank
you, man.
Oh, I was wondering when I was getting dragged into that. Right, well, I think we'll use that as a nice little segue back into VAR. Ed, you were saying.
Actually, I think the thing we need VAR on Chris's call of 1,200 votes. I've got it in front of me, and I'm watching live the vote account and it says 257. But that's another matter. Sorry, Jamie, carry on.
Desperately trying to move away from this. I regret everything I've started. What did you make? So you don't think the challenge was intentional?
Well, no. I think many red cards they're not trying to hurt or do an awful challenge. But if you watch, you've seen all the slow motions, I'm sure, online, and he could have snapped his ankle. If that best way to look at it for me is if that happened against Jamie Vardy or any other really important Leicester player, how would we feel about it? And if a player got away from an opponent, got away with that, then I wouldn't.
I think you've got to look at it like you see it. You see what Tieleman is doing there is shielding the ball and putting the weight on the other foot and turning out the other way. You see that multiple times in the game. I agree there was no intent in it, but yeah, ultimately it should have been a red card. But when I put that question out there on Twitter, there was a fair few people thinking that he gave him a cheeky glance, but I don't get why he'd want to. Like, there was no frustration or anything. We were winning at that time, and it was in a non-dangerous position of the pitch. So I just think it's the case where he's shielding the ball, and it's gone wrong. But surely the FA can't they do retrospective bans? And obviously that's not happened, has it?
No, they can do, but they obviously looked at that and stuck by the decision that was made. I can't see them going against VAR. I think that would send a really bad message, wouldn't it? But I'm not sure. But so in terms of the rest of the game, away from horror tackles or accidental turns or whatever we decided it was, the clear man of the match was Jamie Vardy. He looks like a man reborn this season. He's got that energy back. He's causing defences no end of problems. Mepham and Cook just simply could not live with him. But how much, Ed, do you attribute his improvement to the change in manager, or do you think he's just well rested, or what do you think the reasons are behind his improvement?
Red Bull,
yeah, could be. I think we can't just say one variable has made all this change. There's lots of them, but obviously the change in manager will be one of them. Perhaps playing a style that's a little bit quicker, maybe a little bit more open. Well, he doesn't play long ball football, sure, but maybe more open to doing it. You see,
I mean, to be fair, the first goal was a long ball.
Well, that's what I mean. The Chilwell really did. He played in a great ball and even better finish from Vardy. The recruitment of Tieleman will have helped. That even more players capable of putting the ball through into the spaces that he wants. And like I say, more rest would have helped as well. So there's lots of factors. But yeah, I'd definitely say that Brendan Rodgers is more, his style of football is more aligned with what Vardy probably wants than Puel's was.
I mean, so he's been directly involved in 14 goals in 14 games under Rodgers. So I think that's more than for instance. Is it right? You got to say.
Well, I don't for a second say it's a coincidence, but I don't think it's you can't say it's all down to one thing. Like, it's still near enough the same players on the pitch, and I don't know. There's people saying he didn't get on best well with Puel and etc. So
yeah,
I don't know, but yeah, look, he's back playing to his best, and we're back performing. So
that's
happy
it.
days.
And with a happy Jamie Vardy, Leicester's chances definitely look better. So we've now won 5 of our last 8 home games, and that record. So that's won 5, drawn 2, and lost 1. It took us 20 games to win 5 at home previously. So there's a definite improvement. But with everyone everything seems to be clicking quite well in the last game, Krys. Do you buy into the fact that teams that are incumbent in the top 4 and 6 will be looking at us and being slightly concerned?
I think I can only repeat what I've said previously in that I just don't think the traditional top four is. I think it's the other way around now. Like, well, I'm not saying they should fear. Well, they should fear us, but we shouldn't. Definitely shouldn't fear them. Like Liverpool, and Man City, write them off. The gap between second and third is going to be bigger this season than last season. Yeah. But then even teams like Spurs, Arsenal, Chelsea, Man U. I honestly, we're going to Man U. We'll speak about it later, but I'm not fearing that. Remember, like 10, 15 years ago, you'd literally look at that and go, come on, damage your limitations sort of thing. I just don't fear them, and especially not at home. And in terms of players like Jamie Vardy, look at his record against the traditional top four or top six, whatever it is. It's incredible. I just think that, the tide's changing a little bit. And I think, in terms of bookies, odds or anything, it's just all more even these days. And I think that the gap is closing. So, I'm excited to play Man U, and we'll talk about it later, but I'm not fearing it at all.
All right, that's as good a segue as I could have made into the preview, but we will come back to that slightly later. I mean, just looking at the England game, I think one of the only real question from a Leicester point of view that's floated about, and Ed, I feel like this is definitely one for you. James Maddison, one of the star performers last year in the Premier League, and he started well again this year. Can't get a start. What do you put that down to?
For England, this is, sorry.
Yeah, that's right.
I just don't think it is necessarily England play the formation and the style that Maddison would
have played instead of Barkley tonight.
He could have, but I don't know. Does Barkley offer more defensive solidity than Maddison does? I probably would say so, yes.
But is that what you think you need against, not being disrespectful, but to Kosovo and Bulgaria? You'd have thought England would be able to play a more attacking lineup.
Well, by the looks of it, they need to sort of fucking back line out.
Language, come on now.
Again. Obviously, people listening to this are like, what am I talking about? This was 5-2, but it's a good finish, but bad defending. And obviously, the first goal was awful, but nothing to do with Leicester, but still.
There we go. Wait, sneezing out. I do think it is because they're at the minute for defensive solidity, and I guess, is it needed against teams like this? Probably not, but I'd also argue if he's going to, Barkley, for example, may well be playing against the bigger teams, the tougher opponents, and he needs to get used to playing with the England squad.
With all due respect, why on earth should Barkley be playing? Like, why has he got a given right to be playing ahead of Maddison? That's more the point.
Well, no one's got a given right. I'm just saying, I think he's better defensively, probably. I see him more as like a standard centre.
Yeah, you wouldn't play a defensive player in a number 10 position, would you?
And also, Barkley can't get a start for Chelsea at the minute. And it worries me, the message that sends to players in teams outside the top six, that it doesn't matter how well you play, reputation still counts and the club you play for still counts.
Well, that's what a lot of people are saying, well, including Southgate himself, obviously that's not the case, but there's always going to be a bit of that, I feel, in the England setup, and it is a shame, but Maddison, we're looking at this and thinking, what else can he do to get into the team if he can't start against Kosovo at home?
Well, I'm hoping that in the raft of substitutions that he does manage to get on at least. It'd be good to see him in an England shirt, but there you go. Right, so I thought we'd do something a little bit different this time, because I know that you two like to have your little competition. So I thought we'd test your knowledge of the current squad. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to give you a fact about a player, and I need you to guess who it is. Take it in turn. So we'll start with you, Ed.
Okay.
Right. This player is the tallest member of the Leicester City squad, the senior squad.
The senior squad?
Member. He is, and I'll tell you, 6'4".
6'4", Johnny Evans.
Incorrect, Chris.
I don't have a clue.
6'4", Ndidi.
No, right. So he's also won 3 league titles.
3 league titles.
and played alongside Kramaric and Scott Brown. Ed, your guess first.
Jesus. Right, so
Kramaric and Scott Brown.
league title. I'm assuming league titles meaning anywhere, like any country. Yeah.
Any country, yeah.
Right. He's played with Scott Brown.
I know who it is. Can I buzz in?
No, you can't.
I know who it is. I know who it is.
No, you go first next time. That will put the pressure on you, Ed.
Come on.
Scott Brown. I thought you were saying Scott Parker. Benkovic.
Oh, for fuck's sake.
It is 1-2.
Why was I thinking
That
Scott
wasn't that
Parker?
okay. Wait, it was the Kramaric thing, weren't it? Croatia, I'm guessing.
Well, I was gonna go with the league titles, but it sounded there was a lot of confusion. Like audible confusion coming from Ed. So I thought
I was thinking like, who did you have? He played for Fulham. And it's just like, why am I thinking Scott Parker? Sorry, guys.
You've got Scott Parker.
Did Collins John used to play for us?
Yeah, back in the day.
He wasn't 6'4", but he did play for Fulham.
And he was also shit.
He didn't see a Mancy camera.
Yeah, we had him on loan.
Classic celebration, though.
Wasn't he at Fulham?
If you know, you know.
We only saw that once. Right, so next one, because that's 1-0. That's
My go first, isn't it?
Easy.
You're up first this time, Chris. Right. So this player made his debut in the Champions League, but then had to wait a full year to play in the Premier League. But this is whilst at Leicester.
Debut in the Champions League and had to wait a full year.
Kosovo are about to score their third, by the way. They've got a pen.
Okay.
Flicked over to the Portugal match, but okay. Anyway, Champions League for some reason. What? Honestly, I know the answer's not Slimani, but I want to say Slimani.
No,
I'm going to say Slimani. There you go. That's
I'm willing to make a weird guess, and I think it's probably. Oh, wait! How long did he have to wait to get his debut in the league?
a year.
A year.
Calendar.
It was not the season, not the next season, the one after.
Oh, so it was. All right, that narrows it down.
Whilst I was thinking, don't you think this international match, this is like a Premier League game? Like, normally international football is boring, but like England having literally what is going on? This is concerning, but 5-3, game on.
Right. Ed, Ed, any advance?
Is it?
That's Maguire who gave the penalty away as well. Remember when he used to play for Leicester?
I'm going to say that. Is it Amate?
No, right. Okay.
I didn't think it was.
He's also played for MK Dons, Barnsley, and West Brom. Chris, Ed, Chris, your guess.
I know who it is now.
No, it's Ed's guess. Ed, your guess.
I guess.
No, it's Chris's
He
guess.
just got it wrong. It's Harvey Barnes then, ain't it?
It is Harvey Barnes. He made his debut in that horrible game away at Porto.
Yes.
And then I was there. Oh God! And then he had to wait a full year.
No, it makes sense now, of course.
Right. Does that put you 2 up?
No, 1-1.
1-1, like it. Right. This next one then. He played in the Champions League at just 16 years of age, and it's not Harvey Barnes. Will you say anything?
For us?
No.
Wait, whose go is it?
Mine.
I'm going to say Ed's.
This is going smooth as expected.
Wait. So this is he played for Leicester at 16.
No, he made his debut in the Champions League aged 16.
Oh, but he's at Leicester now. Yeah.
He's at Leicester now. These are all players at Leicester now.
Okay. Tieleman,
bloody straight in with it.
Easy. I know that because I always used to sign him when he was at Anderlecht on Football Manager when he was like 16.
Yeah.
Don't test me with such silly questions.
Oh, I don't need a tiebreaker. Then you just take the W. Easy.
What? How's that? You've asked 3 questions, and he's won.
You never need a tiebreaker when there's 3 questions.
Well, I know, but I thought I'd get 4. I've got 5th here, but it's not going that as smoothly as I hope. So.
No, we can carry this on.
I mean, I want to know the 5th question now. I've only had 3 questions though.
Okay, right. I'll do one more for you, Chris. This is just for you. He's represented his youth team at under 15, 16, 17, 18, under 19 and under 21s and made 4 senior appearances. This is for his international youth team.
He plays for Leicester, obviously.
And he plays for Leicester.
For international.
That's a lot of youth matches. Sionchu.
No, but a good guess though.
Can I have a go?
Yeah, go on.
No, you're not allowed.
I would like to guess.
It's worth noting that off air, Ed said he was going to cheat in this quiz, just saying. So.
Don't need to with these silly questions.
I can hear that kicking on the top.
Buying time, right? Come on.
You definitely can't. Right. So he's made 4 international got 4 international caps. I will go for
Daniel Amati.
no. Oh God.
Google's not loading, is it, Ed?
I've got speedy internet. I just don't want to say a stupid name. Dennis Pratt.
Dennis Pratt, it is. Good guess.
What the fuck?
Again, he was a highly rated youngster that, for one reason or another, hadn't made that many appearances.
He's also played with Gaston Ramirez, Benteke, and Alexander Butner. That would have been I would have thrown a right spanner in the works.
Alexander Butner. Did he used to play for Man U?
Yeah, I remember that name.
He was with Dennis Pratt at the place he before Sampdoria, Anderlecht. There you go. There's some knowledge for you.
Well, good game, Ed. Yeah, thoroughly deserved victory there, isn't it?
Better luck next time, mate. It's only a game. It's only
absolutely rampant. Right, so let's move on to the Man United game and a chance for Leicester to really go and make a statement. I know every game is, but this one carries a little bit more weight to it, doesn't it, with Maguire and the chance for the top 6. And I know Leicester fans all said, "Oh, we're not bothered about leaving," but I think everyone wants to get that win, don't they? But Ed, I know it's been a bit of a mixed bag, to say the least. What do you make of Man U under Solskjaer?
I don't think they're as bad as people are making them out to be. I certainly don't feel they're a great side. Don't get me wrong, and it's hard to judge them because I guess we're going to judge them in relative terms to where Man U used to be and should really be now. For them, they really are a very awful team. But in the grand scheme of things, they're still not dreadful. So we can't, for obvious reasons, we can go in wanting a result and hoping to win, but we're still going to have to be at the top of our game to get a good result.
Let me just butt in and say, you said in the grand scheme of things, they're not dreadful. So if I said to you, a team that's drawn with Southampton, lost to Palace at home, and drawn with Wolves out of 4 games.
Beat Chelsea 4-0. We didn't beat Chelsea, but there we go.
Oh, I've just picked 3 of the 4 fixtures as quoted. So
why would you drop the other result though?
We beat Man U 5-3 in that season. We stayed up. Like, does that make us like an amazing team? I don't know. But that's not the point. The point is, I would say in relative terms and in real terms, they are really quite bad.
I disagree, but there we go.
I think it's worth noting to those listeners that Ed is a sort of a childhood Man United softie. So let's just leave that in there, as we may have noticed over previous episodes him standing up for the Red Devils quite a lot.
Let's not add to the Man.
I don't. Look, if you look at the table, even
I'm not find a picture of Ed in his Man United top.
I never had a Man U shit, but if you look at the table, they've scored 1 more than us and conceded 1 more than us, and they're only 1 result behind us. So they're really not.
If we lost 2-1 at home, well, we've lost a lot worse to Palace at home. Would we be happy? If we drew with Southampton 1-1 away, would we be happy?
Hey, if we did anything but lose 5-0 to Palace at home, I'd be ecstatic.
I mean, obviously that's not. Yeah, in that sense, it's great for them.
No Man U fans are saying they're happy with the start to their season.
I don't think any Man U fans been saying they're happy since a certain Sir Alex Ferguson left.
Well, I think they were happy for about 10 weeks last season, but
I mean,
they did have that lovely spell of form. But I don't know.
Honking stats, players like Jesse Lingard, what is it like? Not kept a clean sheet at home in again, I'm not going to make up facts, but I think I've read that somewhere in like a certain amount of time.
Yeah, it's been a long time.
I don't know, like, and out of all the teams, like, I generally don't have anything against Man U. They're certainly not on Celtic levels of hatred for me. But I do think that they're just a soft touch these days, like, including, like, Maguire's obviously like sort of solid them up a bit, but I just think Vardy's going to be absolutely frothing for this. He is going to be chomping at the bit. Like, I don't even know. Like, this, I think a win to 0, and I just think we could upstage them. Obviously, this time next week, I could have 1,000 Man U fans on my back, but I just got a good feeling about this one, you know.
Well, I can see where you get it from. I mean, speaking about Vardy, did you see what Roy Keane said about Harry Maguire in the week?
Well, yeah, I think I have, but I mean, anything Roy Keane says is going to be controversial, isn't it, these days?
Well, he's basically said that he is he's done okay, but defensively there's question marks over him. I always worry about his pace on the turn.
Yes, this is it. Yeah, because I was going to message you guys about this, but it is true though, isn't it? Like, I'm not just saying this because he's left Leicester, but like, well, no one really thought about this when he was at Leicester. Like, he never really got found out for pace, but like, if you compare him to someone like Sionchu, like, we've just had that massive pace increase, and we've already seen that sort of this season in Sionchu getting back. So, I mean, that's a valid point. I don't often agree with Roy Keane, but he does make a valid point there.
I remember him getting gassed by that absolute unit from Huddersfield. I can't remember his name, but I think that whoever he was pretty much the only goal he scored all season. So someone like Vardy, who's looking sharper than ever before, he's quick as anything. Don't know if we can get the player on the counter. I'm extremely optimistic, but we'll have to wait and see on that one. But
like, something I didn't see myself saying, and credit where credit due, but the main threat, that Daniel James, I think obviously I wanted Leicester to sign him. Like, well, I didn't want him. I mean, he was a good player, but I didn't realise he'd actually fit in that well at Man U, and like, he just looks dangerous, doesn't he? I mean, in his first few matches, that's where I see their main threat, maybe cutting in off a wing, but otherwise, I think
scored another really nice goal for Wales in the week, so he's a man on form.
I think we could honestly go there and come out with more possession and a good result, to be honest.
I think, yeah, Daniel James has looked a threat, but to pretend like they've not been, yes, the last 2 results haven't been good at all. You know, drew against Southampton, lost against Palace. Yeah. But they have had 20 shots in both of the last 2 games. They are having attempts on goal and creating chances, not good enough ones to obviously be putting them away, but they're a capable team.
Oh yeah, don't get me wrong, but I mean, again, I'm going to pick another player, but like someone like Jesse Lingard, like, he's literally he's got 1 assist in, what was that, like, he only had 1 month where he got a goal and an assist, I think last December, but he's fired blanks every other month. That is awful form. Come on, for Man United as well, how he's still getting a look in even as a sub is concerning to me.
Yeah, and I know that they're missing a few players through injury as well. But I suppose the man that you're looking at to make a difference to them would be the likes of Rashford, wouldn't it, as well?
Well, again, another player who can't really settle, like, what's his best position? Do you know what I mean? He came on the scene when they were in the Europa League against like Midtjylland or something, and he looked like a hot prospect, but he's just, I don't know, there's something about Man U's just not right, is it? I've always said since Ole Gunnar came in, like, I don't see how he's going to improve players, because like what kind, other than being a player himself, like, he's not really proven anything as a coach at a good level. So I mean, obviously there's different coaches at Man United, but I just don't know, like, that's why I don't understand why players would choose to go to Man United right now, because surely you'd rather play under someone like, you know, obviously Guardiola, but even like Rodgers, who's developed players in the past. Surely you want that for your own sort of progression. That's what I can't get my head around. But then I get, obviously, Man United, huge club, etc. But I don't know, like, I think you want to go somewhere to win trophies ultimately.
Yeah, well, it's definitely going to be a tasty game. I mean, Ed, if you were Leicester though against United with the problems that you and Krys have pointed out, How do you want to go and try and play? Do you want to try and play positively, or let them have the majority of the ball and try and play on the counter?
Good question. I think because they're obviously not as strong as they used to be, it's important not to go there and try and show them too much respect and stand off and just welcome them onto us, because then you are, of course, we are capable on the counter, but you're asking for trouble then, because they are, whilst out of form, they do have players who can still create something, so you are going to have to go at them, and we've got the players capable of, even in their slightly improved defence from last season, we've got players capable of putting through balls or Vardy on the last man's shoulder and creating stuff. So I certainly think we've got to go a bit more attacking. We can't just sit back and let them come at us.
I mean, don't get me wrong, like credit where credit due to United. On paper, they've still got some class players. Like someone like Pogba should be absolutely, pulling strings against the likes of Palace or maybe Southampton, So it only takes him to have one inspired moment, and it could be the difference in the match, to be honest. So I'm not going to be totally dismissive, but I think if we go there, and I want us to stamp our authority, go there, play it as if it's a home game, the old cliche, get an early goal, and then, trust me, the pressure will be on them. And I don't see as why we can't come out with over 50% possession and a positive result with the game.
So possession's a big shout there, because, in the last 2 games, so I got more stats in front of me. They had 60%. Well, last game they had 7. Last game at Old Trafford.
What about Man U? Man U.
Yeah, Man U. Last home game they had 72% possession.
That's
so
what
they are in the game. The last away game even they still had 60. So it's not as if even with our possession football we're going to just dominate.
Yeah, absolutely. I agree with that. And I'm saying, but maybe I haven't watched their Man U matches in any great detail or anything more than highlights. But I think I've heard criticism of their possession sort of being a bit pointless, when you're sort of knocking it around, maybe. So I don't know. Obviously, Rodgers wants to play more of a possession-based game. So if we go there and, make a real stamp of sort of authority on it at Old Trafford, then, why not? I just think there's no reason why we can't go there with a great deal of confidence.
No. And yeah, speaking of pointless possession from last year, that's something we know quite a lot about.
I didn't want to mention that, but you have, so thank you.
Oh, it's always happy to do so. Right, so prediction time then. Ed, what are you saying for this game? Because I know, Krys, you got your prediction eerily right last week, didn't you?
Well, I mean, Ed told me it wasn't, but I did say goals and a bit of VAR drama. So whether or not we will give me that, I'll give myself that. I think I was close.
Yeah, I'll give you that as well. So Ed, in that case, you get to go first this week.
Well, tough one, because I changed my mind. I was going to say 0-0, but I'm going to say 1-0 to Leicester.
Big shout. Krys?
Interestingly, this is a Saturday 3 p.m. at Old Trafford, which for some reason just feels weird in this day and age, which is nice. I think 2-0 and a brace from Jamie Vardy. No real drama as such, but just Jamie Vardy, another brace, thanks, and see you later.
Fair enough. I think it's gonna be a tough game. Lindelof and Maguire are good players for all the sort of criticism that we have aimed at them, but I just fancy Vardy. I don't know what it is. He loves the opportunity to rustle in any way, doesn't he?
There's no bigger place, no bigger stadium than Old Trafford.
I think we all want to see what he does if he scores and then Maguire's in the vicinity. I will give you a 2-1 Leicester win. I don't think we'll keep a clean sheet, but I think it would be typical us to turn up. So 2-1 Leicester win for me.
Very well.
I mean, I'm never right.
This is the game, maybe unsurprisingly, but I'm really looking forward to this. I think the first one I've really look forward to this season, to be fair. So it's going to be an interesting one. It's going to be interesting.
Yeah, look forward to it. But I think that about wraps up this episode. So
no, Jamie, I'm going to jump in because we did say we're going to put some questions out on Twitter.
go on then.
So one of them is I think a legit one. It's from one of these football Twitter accounts, I think. So I'll put it to you guys. Is it okay to wear a non-England shirt to the King Power? You know, e.g. Sion 5 in a Turkey shirt, or is that going to be frowned upon, guys?
I see no reason why there's a problem with that.
I don't think there's nothing wrong with that at all, to be honest. We're not playing Turkish opposition or anything, so, go for it. Lineker's apples, tell us how it goes for you. But I think...
Yeah, even then, it's free world, isn't it? We shouldn't tell people what to do when inside the King Power Stadium.
No,
it doesn't make you any less of a real fan.
I know, true. Turning up in like a Forest shirt or something would be ill-advised.
Long-term listeners may understand some joke in there, but it doesn't make you any less of a fan if you want to wear or do or behave a certain way.
Well, the only other debate is when is the cut-off age for having a player and a name on the back of your shirt, or even, no, is there an age where you're too old for that?
I think there might, rather than age, there might be like a weight limit. I don't know.
Unbelievable. I mean, these kit manufacturers aren't really considerate of the heavier people, I guess. So you got a point.
Wow, good question. Which took a weird turn. Is that the only one that we?
No. Another one. Unless this guy knows something that me and Ed don't know about you, Jamie. How's the divorce going?
Wow. I mean, just to clarify to everyone, there's no such problem. Unless I know something very serious that I don't.
Because I'm wondering if FFS small.
FF small.
FFS.
Oh yeah, his name's different to his handle. Sorry.
I don't know, like whether he's an inside joke maybe that we don't know about. I don't think he actually listens to the podcast. So.
Girlfriend's just came and sat next to me and is playing stuff out of her phone really loudly when I'm telling her to be quiet. So I'm
asking you how the divorce.
Maybe you don't see it at the time.
In that case, was that? I mean, what a high note to end on.
Oh, come on, rein it in. Sorry, what was that?
What a high note to end it on. Was that the last question?
Yeah. Disappointingly, no one else asked anything.
Wow. Well, that not sure if that's what we were hoping for. It's fine. I think we'll end it on that extremely bizarre note. So thank you if you listened through that nonsense and you're still with us at the end of the podcast. We do appreciate, as always, feedback, questions, Twitter or Facebook at First4LCFC, and hopefully we're sat here in a week on the next episode and we're talking about what will hopefully be a big points for Leicester.
Yeah, well, I mean, we will be here in one way or another, so in spirit, maybe. I don't know.
Say bye, Ed.
Over and out.
That's chaos. That's chaos.
Ed, you're an absolute weapon. Right, I'm going to go. Otherwise, that divorce...
Sorry, I don't know what came over me then.
No, you sounded very feminine. Right. Speak to you later, lads.
See ya.